What is going on, guys? DBG here. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys how to easily, well, how to comfortably enough beat the MANU GINOBILI challenge. As you guys can see, I did just win the MANU GINOBILI challenge. We're going to open this pack and we are going to go over his stats first before we obviously go into the kind of almost tutorial on how we ended up winning this game and how I think that you guys can win very, very comfortably. So yeah, we did manage to get a MANU GINOBILI. I wish that the MANU GINOBILI pink diamond one has the same hair. Like, he's not going to be that useful for me, to be completely honest, because I do already have the pink diamond MANU. But for everyone who didn't get the pink diamond MANU, it is good. Oh, actually, do I? I didn't get pink diamond MANU. No, so at least I got a MANU GINOBILI. I forgot, I have him on my other system. So MANU's got 1 Hall of Fame badge, difficult shots, which is a great badge to have. 16 golds. He's got good mid-range, good 3-ball, not a great dunk, can speed boost, decent steal rating, good speed ball and acceleration, decent lateral quickness, and is a good enough defender. So this MANU should be really, really nice. So if you guys are wondering what this team is, this team was basically the team that I used to beat the challenge. So the reason why I used this was because I wanted to handicap myself a little bit. I wanted to use different types of players and see what would be the most effective. So I actually tried this challenge once and lost, and I will be showing clips from that game in the gameplay as well. But what I did was I started the emeralds, and rather than using sapphires, the players I actually used were golds. So I had Lonzo starting. At the 2, I had, where is he? Small forwards. Walt Williams, just because he is a 3-point shooter, but he could not hit a shot for me in the game. Gold, we had Terrence Ross at 3. Then we had Carmelo Anthony at the 4. At the 5, we had Miles Turner. So basically, yeah, this was the team that we only lost challenge by 1 point with this squad. And honestly, if you're talking about like making team, like the team actual way of building teams. So what I would suggest to you guys is you need one of your 2 big men needs to be a shot blocker. Miles Turner got eaten alive in the first game. Even though his block isn't that bad, I don't think. 83, he is only 6'11". He got eaten alive. Joe Chi did a great job in that first game. The reason is that you're going to come up against a David Robinson that is going to literally look to shoot through you every single time. If the David Robinson starts shooting fadeaways, it's basically game over. But actually, no, yeah, it kind of is actually. I was like jumping with Manute Bol and he was still hitting those fadeaways. But a lot of the time he just tries to run through your big man and doesn't score. David Robinson is who you guys want to shoot the ball with the vast majority of the time. So basically, if you guys, like this is a team I nearly won with, and I did win with the Sapphires. But if I was to make a perfect team for this challenge, if you guys haven't beat it yet, or you are having a little bit of trouble, I just picked random letters there. What I would suggest is you need length at the point guard position. So I'd suggest using a small forward because everything in their offense runs through the, what's his name? It runs through, I can't even remember, Tony Parker, that's it. So Azania would not be a bad pickup there. He's 6'8", he's long, and is an unbelievable defender and can shoot the ball a little bit if he's needed. Also, you do not want your primary ball handler to be at the point guard position. Tony Parker is completely locked down for some reason. I couldn't run anything with Tony Parker. You want your primary ball handler to be at the 2 guard. If I'm picking someone ideal for this position, like if you do have a Hall of Fame difficult shots player, that would be great because they don't defend the pick and rolls too well. Use someone like a Walter Davis. At the 3, literally a shooter. It does not matter what else they do. You just need a shooter. So I'm just going to throw in, I don't know, Josh Richardson shoots the ball well for me. I'm just going to throw him in there. Your 3 doesn't really need to do much. They do have George Gervin at the 3, who's a good enough offensive player, but he doesn't touch the ball very much for some reason with the CPU, so you don't need to worry too much about it. And at the 4, this is where I would say, like, I didn't run him, but I think that if I'd ran a base 11 player, and I would explain why, it is game over. So for me, I would run Tom Gugliotta. If you guys have got the likes of Danny Granger, if you guys have got Kirilenko, run them at the power forward position. And it is game over in this challenge if you do that. Trust me, it is game over if you guys run a base 11 player at the 4 in this challenge. At the 5, obviously a big man. And obviously if you have Arvydas Sabonis, it's you're going to do really well. I wouldn't have minded using Rape with Friends because of something I will explain later, but Manute Bol is not a bad option. Again, he's one of the best shot blockers in the game. He can just stay in the middle and he will nullify David Robinson, who is the guy who touches the ball and takes the most shots for them. It will be very, very easy to hold Robinson to a lot less points. And then something kind of similar to this on the bench. So really, you guys need defenders at point guard and center. You guys need a primary ball handler to 2 and 2 shooters. A really fast release shooter at the power forward position, that is a must. And again, I'll explain why when I'm going over kind of the things I tried to do. But anyway, now let's get on to the games. And I'm going to show you guys the tactics I used and what ended up working well for me. So in the first game, while using the emeralds and golds, I really had a lot of success early on defense. I was able to completely lock down the David Robinson player, who is without doubt the guy that run the most. When he goes into post hooks and things, he's very, very not effective. As you guys saw from an earlier clip, the pick and roll wasn't too effective, but one thing that did work, especially early for me, was getting up threes. Like, I know obviously we did get free throws there, but David Robinson is everywhere in the pick and roll. Trust me. But again, as you guys see here, even though I missed that, they do not guard the 3 at all. You gotta keep an eye obviously on LaMarcus Aldridge, but when this guy right here is on the floor, Artis Gilmore literally doesn't defend anyone. Again, like, I'm not worried about missing these shots. If you guys use better cards, you release better, it's fine. Artis Gilmore jacked a couple of threes up, and he literally guards nobody. Like, Miles Turner is not the worst three-point shooter, not the best. I know he obviously didn't hit either of those there, but if you leave a competent shooter wide open, that's money every single time. Tim Duncan and David Robinson, both of them, if you guys start calling up players from screens, so if you guys, say for example, call for a screen off a player and pass the ball to them as they're on their way up, that works quite a lot. Again, if you are in pick and rolls, try not to run with Tony Parker because he's clamps, but things like that. This is the reason why we lost the game. We were just missing these type of shots. This is the game here we won, and early in the game especially, they leave three-point shooters wide open. Second half, the Spurs team really picks up on defense, but in the first half, they start leaving players open. And again, I got trapped with Tim Duncan. You really want David Robinson to be the one doing the main scoring on the starting lineup anyway, because David Robinson legitimately can't score unless the fadeaway, whereas Duncan hits nearly all of his hook shots. And again, as you guys can see, when Artis Gilmore is on the floor, run as many pick and rolls you want. You're going to get open shots. Shots like that, if you had a base 11 shooter, one Channing Frye shot, it's good every single time. So if you guys call players up for screens, basically, you're going to get at least a lightly contested shot with a base 11 shooter. It's in every time. And then what I figured out later in the game was that transition, this Spurs team just literally does not guard the three-point line. The CPU on All-Star with the Spurs team does not guard the three-point line, which is easy. And again, things like that. They're the type of things that with base 11 shooters are good every single time because they can only get a light contest, and base 11 shooters are too quick, jump too high for that to be a contest at all. And again, as you guys can see from the last couple of clips, the transition tree basically is what's going to be the main difference. So yeah, so now I'm going to put the tips that I can give you. I've played this challenge twice. I've used 2 complete budget squads and I've managed to beat it once. So tip number 1, I would advise you guys, if at all possible, do not use your point guard as the primary ball handler because Tony Parker is just absolutely clamps. Tip number 2, do not run pick and rolls that often, and if you are, make sure that you are not running them with David Robinson. He's 7'1", he's got a wide body, and he can defend almost anyone. He can defend 2 players a lot of times in pick and roll situations. If you are going to run with David Robinson, run a pick and pop. Tip number 3 is, you probably didn't see it in the gameplay, run full court defense, play off ball with your center. Literally off ball with your center. Neither of their big men can shoot the ball. Just stand. None of their big men can shoot it. Just stand in the middle with the center. Make sure you're not called for defense 3 seconds in the key, and it shouldn't be too bad. And also try to force David Robinson into shooting the ball a lot more. Tip number 4, transition threes. Transition threes are going to be your best friend. And tip number 5, the last one, is if possible, use the tactic of calling players, whoever's in the low post, call them up for a screen, and as they're running out, give it to them at the 3-point line and get shots up. It will be most effective with a base 11 shooter at the power forward position because it's a lot easier to shoot over Duncan than David Robinson. If you guys do have a guy like Tom Gugliotta, because when I was using Channing Frye, he's released a little bit longer, it was coming up as lightly contested every time. If you use a base 11 shooter, it will be open every time. So anyway, that's the video. These are just the tips that I think will help you guys win this challenge. While obviously it's not going to be for everybody, I'm not the best player at this game, and I also used a squad that's much worse than the vast majority of people are going to use. I managed to comfortably beat it with using sapphires and emeralds, and I was very close to beating it using gold and emeralds, which is a terrible squad. But anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.